Have you been burned by pickup boot camps, dating coach scam artists, matchmaker escort agencies, or out-of-touch dating advice from male models or female dating coaches who have absolutely no idea what they're talking about? In this video, I'm going to explain to you why there's so much bad advice out there and why there's so many grifters trying to take advantage of you. And at the end, I'm going to give you the actual solution and explain to you why these solutions that work are so difficult to come by in 2026. Let's start off with the history of pickup. Let's go back to 2000 to say 2005. At that point, there were a few guys that were actually going out there on boot camps, guys like Mystery or Neil Strauss or Owen Cook that were going out there on a regular basis and actually teaching guys how to meet women in a regular basis. Now, remember, this is before social media. So when you would go out to these venues, there were tons of women at these different venues. Pickup actually did work to a certain extent back then, way more because there was way fewer ways for you to show status like you can on social media now. Then around 2010, all these email marketers started to get into the platform and started making ridiculous claims about how you could say 7 words and get the girl of your dreams to come over without doing any work whatsoever. Then after that, you started seeing pickup artists trying to one-up each other with their hidden infield. Some of it was completely made up. I had been on boot camps where I'd actually seen guys before go home with girls that they never even went home with. The whole thing was staged and set up. Or they would blur out a girl's face so you didn't know how attractive she was. But they kept trying to one-up each other, one after another. Things got more and more toxic until the band wave of 2017 happened and all these hidden infield pickup artists lost their channels all at the same time. It was a massive ban and it left this massive void in the dating space for men. Then after the ban wave, there was a void, and the void was filled by, wait for it, red pill content creators. That's when the explosion of red pill happened. Fresh and Fit was the most super chatted show on all of YouTube. You started seeing the rise of Andrew Tate. Rollo Tomasi and his books were best-selling. And this whole phenomenon took off during COVID. And this all happened until 2022, until you started seeing a ban of red pill content creators. You started seeing those content creators be demonetized, be deplatformed, or being severely ratioed. And what was left behind after that void, after all the red pill guys had been banned and all the pickup artists had been banned, you started seeing this flood of terrible dating advice. Male models and dating coaches that were influencers, guys like Justin Baldoni giving horrible dating advice about just be yourself. You started to see women panders like Chris Jackson or Will Hitchens or Chris GQ Perry going out there and saying that this entire problem was just men's fault. And then finally, you started seeing extremely woke liberals like Gavin Newsom or Barack Obama going on these different platforms talking about the suffering of boys and men and finally how we had to do something to stop it. The reality of the situation is, was there some toxic stuff in pickup? For sure. Was there toxic stuff in red pill? Absolutely. But there was also a lot of really, really solid dating advice for men that was in there. And all of that dating advice was deemed toxically masculine. So the first reason why there's so much bad dating advice out there is because good dating advice is seen to be manipulative or toxically masculine, when it really isn't. A man maintaining his boundaries is seen to be toxically masculine or narcissistic. No, it isn't. And it certainly isn't when a woman maintains her own boundaries. A man wanting to date a woman who is more submissive, innocent, or younger is seen to be as grooming. No, it's not. It's something that's been going on for generations. You started seeing horrible propaganda like that Barbie movie where Ken was told he was just superfluous. He was just the side piece. And then Ken goes off and starts talking to other women, getting in better shape, hanging out with other people, and he's deemed to be immature and unattractive. You started seeing propaganda like that Netflix show Adolescence, where they tried to show that a young boy who watched red pill content all of a sudden became violent and stabbed one of his female teammates, even though there's been tons of studies on this, including a study by William Costello of the University of Texas at Austin, which showed that this kind of violence did not exist. In fact, if you want to take any LLM models, go ChatGPT or Grok, or if you want to use Perplexity and ask them, was there ever one single case of little Anglo middle-class white kid watching red pill content and then stabbing one of his classmates? That happened 0 times in the UK, yet the United Kingdom actually used the show Adolescence in their government as almost like testimony or evidence in order to ban content creators for what they considered to be misogynistic content. The reality situation is there misogynistic content? For sure. Do I agree with everything Andrew Tate says? No, I would not use the language, some of the language that Myron Gaines uses. Not even Rollo, who's one of my best friends. He says things that I don't always agree with, but there is a grain of truth in there. And there is some really good advice. And what's happened is you've thrown out the baby with the bathwater. And now any type of good advice is deemed to be toxic. That's the reason why you're not getting any good advice. The reason why so much of this new age blue pill advice was so terrible is because it was out of touch for the average man. Going up to women and telling them that you like them off the rip is just terrible advice for the average guy when the data from dating apps clearly shows us that women find 80% of men to be unattractive. There's also data showing that if men and women get to know each other for a long period of time, the attractiveness correlation between the two of them drops. Meaning, if you can get a woman from an unfamiliar environment to a familiar environment, that she's far more likely to be attracted to you. But no one was teaching this. No one was teaching social circle. You had pickup artists that were teaching men to show massive levels of intent, which was turning women off. They didn't understand how to use social media. They didn't understand how to use female friends, and they didn't understand logistics. You have these red pill content creators that tried to reduce attraction to just looks, money, status, and nothing else. You have these matchmaker escort services that were basically just matching up rich men with young, attractive women, and these women were only interested in the man's money. You have these women panderers like Chris GQ Perry and Will Hitchens that basically told men that everything was their fault and they need to be more emotionally intelligent. And then you had a litany of podcasters telling men that they need to go to therapy, they need to be more vulnerable, they need to be more open with their feelings. Finally, and these were my favorite guys, you had these direct game guys that were telling men to just go up to women and show them how much you are attracted to them. Show them that you're interested. Use man to woman, big energy in order to try to attract women. Of course, none of this worked because none of this was based in science. Nobody wanted to look up the text on evolutionary psychology. Nobody wanted to look up the sociological textbooks. Nobody wanted to look up the data. Everybody had their own anecdotal experience and they were trying to express it. But certain viewpoints, i.e. the viewpoints that were actually the most effective, were ratioed and canceled. They were seen as toxic on these social media platforms. And so that's the reason why you aren't getting good dating advice. All this bad dating advice is the reason why I ended up creating my program. I kept going out and watching these certain guys who would do incredibly well with women, and then I would listen to what pickup artists and dating coaches had to tell me. And I saw that there was this massive disconnect. I remember hearing from Disney, my church, and my family about how I need to be a nice guy to get a nice girl. And then I would go out into the world and see multiple women dating guys who were considered assholes or narcissists. Something wasn't connecting. So I became the guy that people came to when they realized that all this bad dating advice wasn't working for them. It wasn't leading to a solution. It was just leading to a dead end. For 11 years, I did this completely for the love of the game. They would see the results of my clients and see my results, and then they would look at their own life. They would say, hey, I've taken 15 boot camps in a row, and I haven't met a really attractive, normal girl at all. I've been on these dating apps for years, and I keep meeting women with mental disorders or sex workers. I keep going on these matchmaking websites, and I keep ending up with women just trying to get me for my money. I keep listening to all these generic cookie-cutter dating scam artists, and the advice that they would give me about just being myself and go approach a girl because I think she's pretty, none of it worked because I'm just an average guy. The average guy in the United States makes $59,000 a year and is 5'9". When you ask the average woman if she's attracted to that, she says hell no. And yet my clients are shorter and broker than that, and they have incredible success with women. How is that possible? Is there a way that you can actually teach attraction? Yes, there is. And that's what we unlocked because we were the only people willing to dig deep into the science of it. The science of evolutionary attraction triggers, evolutionary psychology, evolutionary biology, and sociology. We were the ones actually trying to understand what it is that made women attracted to men. We found studies that showed that women, when they were taken from an unfamiliar environment to a familiar environment, were far more attracted to men who were less physically attractive. And we use that data. We use data on mate choice copying in humans, which shows that women chose men that other women chose. It was very simple, and yet no one else was doing this. If you've heard all this doom and gloom and you know about all this stuff about pickup getting canceled and all these guys on the red pill getting canceled and the terrible dating advice, if you just want to skip ahead and get the incredible advice so you understand how you can generate attraction with the woman of your dreams in 2026, just click the link below. For the rest of you, stay tuned. So now let's go over the solutions. Let's try to unfuck you from all this terrible dating advice that you've been getting from all these different sources. I explained to you where the advice came from and why they're wrong. Now let's explain to you what actually works in 2026. Number one, this one is indefatigable. It is the most debated topic there is, but there really is no debate anymore. Status trumps looks, money, or game. Showing some level of competency, relevancy, showing some level of leadership, social proof, high status networking is very, very attractive to the opposite sex. Think about it. Think about your ancestors. What did they care about most? Did they look at a man and think, wow, he has a pretty face, he's going to help me with survival? Or did they look at the man who led the group of other men, who led the hunting party, who led the tribe? Those were the men who allowed women to survive longer and for their offspring to survive longer. This is the reason why your networks often get you the most beautiful women. This is a very, very misunderstood thing. There's this rise of black pill guys who think that looks are the only thing that matter. I hope everyone goes into the black pill. I hope more people start listening to Wheat Waffles and Clavicular, because the more guys who think that looks trumps game, the more guys who are getting half their girlfriends stolen by my clients. I hope everybody goes down that path. But the reality of the situation is, no matter how you shape it, any evolutionary study you look at, looks, while it is an important part, and money, why it can also be an important part, it doesn't trump status. So understanding that women do not sleep with you because of your intent, and women do not become attracted to you just because you have money, and looks does not trump the fact that you come off as an idiot or needy or incredibly creepy, uncalibrated. Looks can't counter that. The thing that counters almost everything, and the things that gives you the most opportunity with the most beautiful women and has the most women competing for your attention, is status. And when I talk about status, I don't mean The Rock, I don't mean Lionel Messi, I don't mean Tom Cruise. Those guys are at level 10. I just need you to be at level 1. This is what we teach in the program. How to just get to the point where when you go to the club, the guy at the door, he knows your name and maybe the manager of the club. When you go to the restaurant, maybe the maitre d' or the chef comes up and greets you and knows you by name. When you go to your favorite spot, the valet comes up and says, "Hey, Mr. Sartain, how you doing?" Just a small smidgen of status. Enough to where you're on social media posting good content, where every girl in the city has at least seen your face and kind of familiarizes themselves with you. You get into any place, you have a great time wherever you go. Just level 1 status is all I'm talking about. It trumps any kind of looks, it trumps money, and it trumps any kind of game. That's the first mistake that guys make. They listen to this horrible dating advice thinking that I need to talk my way into getting the girl to be attracted to me, or I need to use text game in order to generate attraction with the woman. They think I need to have a ton of money and wear a super nice watch, and that's the only way attractive women will take me seriously. Or I need to go overseas and get my legs broken so that I can grow 6 inches taller, or have my face smashed in so that I could be more handsome. They believe this terrible dating advice. They believe all these other people that are like, "Hey, look, if you like someone, just go and say, hey, I'm interested in you. Are you open to being hit on?" These guys who say things like, attractive women are waiting for you to walk up to them and be sexual. Guys, I'm not making this up. There's actual advertisements for nonsense like this. But it doesn't work. None of it works. Women do not sleep with you because of your intent. They don't sleep with you just because of your looks. They don't sleep with you, or they're not attracted to you at least, just because of your money. They sleep with you because of your status. Understanding that concept will get you one step closer to unfucking yourself from all this bad dating advice. The second problem that you guys are having is that you're showing too much intent. Now, some of you are going to argue with me. It's like, Michael, I'm not showing that much intent. Yes, if you are consistently going up to girls and commenting on their dresses or how they look, or you're going up there and trying to hit on them and ask them for their number or ask them on dates, you are showing way too much intent. You're showing the girl that you're talking to that the interaction is more important to you than it is to them. And you're giving a woman your sexual intent when she's giving you no compliance, which shows that you are low status. Remember what I said before in number 1? Status trumps everything else. You guys seen that Gary Vaynerchuk clip where he talks about it's easy to get a girlfriend in 2026. Just go up to every girl you see and say, "Would you be my girlfriend? Would you be my girlfriend?" And then some guy goes off and tries it. It's actually a really hilarious video. Why is that? It's because Gary Vaynerchuk is out of touch. He's got millions and millions of followers. He's got women throwing themselves at him. So from his standpoint, he thinks advice like this would work. This is what most male influencers do. And some of these guys, they're well-intentioned, but I'm not going to listen to dating advice, and I'm not going to listen to some green-eyed male model tell me that I need to just go be myself and go up to the most beautiful women. And then when it doesn't work, listening to all these females on TikTok and all these other places telling me that I need to just know my place, telling me I need to just stay in my league. I'm not listening to any of this. I have thousands of testimonials proving that they're wrong. So the idea is that you're showing too much intent. You're trying to get into relationships too quickly. You're going up to women and asking them on one-on-one dates when they've shown you no interest at all. You're going up to women and complimenting them for no reason when they've done nothing to deserve your compliments. You're treating them different. Your voice breaks. You act different. Your palms get sweaty. You're buying them things for no reason. You're flying them out and buying them jewelry and gifts, paying for their rent or their car note when they've done absolutely nothing to deserve it. You're showing too much intent to a woman who's shown you no compliance, which lets everyone know that you are low status. The third problem is the pervasiveness of all this therapy speak telling men that they need to just be more more vulnerable. Now listen, if you're somebody who's actually dealing with clinical depression, please call 988. There's a hotline there for people in case you're having thoughts of harming yourself. If you actually need help, you're not who I'm talking to here. Vulnerability is okay. I don't have an issue with vulnerability. I have an issue with vulnerability for people who didn't earn it. If you're somebody that I've worked with for 10 years, if you're somebody who I served with in the military, if you're one of my family members, or if you've been in Men of Action for more than, say, 6 years, if you're one of my coworkers or one of my close friends, I will be vulnerable with you. If you're a woman that I've been with for years and we've had children together, I'll be vulnerable with you. The problem is, the advice is to be vulnerable with women on the first date. That's terrible advice. I see these men, they go on dates and they start crying because the date doesn't work out or they get ghosted or stood up. And they tell the girl right off the rip, I'm looking for a relationship and kids and I've been cheated on by my last 3 girlfriends. Horrible, horrible stuff that they're doing. I'm not telling you can't be vulnerable. What I'm telling you is only be vulnerable to people who have earned it in your life. And so because of this, what's happened is we have all these men who are not very masculine to start off with. Since the 1950s, testosterone rates have dropped, i.e. just take a look at Tekashi 6ix9ine or Machine Gun Kelly. If you look at that, you just see that men are not being masculine at all. It's really funny. If you listen to these blue pill dating coaches, they start telling you that men are too toxically masculine, and that's where the male loneliness epidemic is coming from. But in reality, the problem is that they are already too feminine. They are already too sensitive. They are already too vulnerable. They are already too offended. That's the problem. Stoicism, not being offended, not being affected, not even noticing when somebody does something wrong. When a girl stands you up, you didn't even notice. You were out partying, doing something else in your incredible life that you've set up. That's actually the way you need to be. Regardless if somebody else tells you that this advice is toxic, it's still true because it works. Women complain about it because it works. Men who show that other women are attracted to them have much better time generating attraction with women, and women complain about it because it works. This is actually the way that you can learn how to do this, not by being vulnerable, but again, by showing status. The fourth reason why you are really having a difficult time is because so much of this pervasive idea that men and women can't be friends. Having a strong group of female teammates in your life and having a really cool group of guy friends is a great way to generate attraction with women. When women see that you have a posse, for instance, if a girl meets you and then you go to a conference together and you just get recognized by a bunch of people, or you go out to a social engagement and everybody comes up and shakes your hand and wants to hang out with you, and maybe some people want to take a picture with you, this is a massive turn on for women because it shows that you have access to scarce networks and access to scarce locations. It shows that you have social proof. It shows that you have pre-selection. It shows that people find you relevant and people find you competent. This is an incredible thing that you can do without using text game or any other kind of game or bragging about yourself or being overly vulnerable. This is a great way for you to generate attraction by having a posse, by having a team full of high status men and beautiful women. This is a great way for you to be able to generate attraction. And number 5, fix your social media. And number 6, get invited to and host better events. Fixing your social media, we go step by step and show you all the different types of stories and posts that you need to post in order to build your brand. It's going to help with your business and it's going to help generate attraction with women while you sleep. It's also infinitely scalable. And in doing so, by having incredible social media and those incredible female teammates that you have, you're also going to get invited to better events and you're going to be able to host better events. We have an entire section in the program on nothing but event hosting and event invites and how to get incredibly beautiful influencers to come to your different events. And these techniques work for anybody. I don't care if you're short, brown, or from a small town. It doesn't matter your income. It doesn't matter your race. These techniques work for everyone. Again, if you have any doubts about this, find someone who is in your socioeconomic group at moamentoring.com/testimonials. In fact, reach out to them in real life and ask. We have thousands of testimonials. And the thing is, if you've been watching this video and you're skeptical, go watch 8 hours of testimonials. And if you're still skeptical, I'm sorry. There's no way that me or anyone else can help you. The fact of the matter is, I have gotten a higher percentage of my clients, their dream girl, their dream job, their dream employees, their dream situation. I have gotten more of my clients a satisfactory outcome than any of these dating coaches, any of these matchmakers, any of these women panderers, any of these TikTokers, any of these YouTube influencers. I've been able to do this over the course of 18 years. If you want to see those actual results, if you want to see the truth backed by science, backed by guys who have outrageous results with women, and backed by my 25 years of experience, make sure you click the link below now.